Hi, this is Luis Augusto from Netrunner Mac, and today we're taking a look at KDE's new launcher and layout called Homerun. Now, before I go into Homerun itself, I would like to show you the current available menus by default in KDE. The first one, which is by the way Netrunner's default menu, it's called the Classic Style menu, and it's just a list with all categories and corresponding subcategories and corresponding applications inside them. You have the option to obviously add some things to your favorites and to leave the computer from here. You can log out, lock the screen, and shut down your computer. Now you have a second option by default, which you can access by right-clicking in the menus icon and selecting Switch to Application Launcher Style. Now this will bring Kickoff. Kickoff is pretty different from the classic menu, and as you can see, by default it shows you your favorite applications as the first tab. The second tab is all of your applications divided by categories, and the third tab shows your system settings, places, and obviously in the fourth tab, recently used, you'll find recently used applications and documents, and of course in the leaf menu you'll find your logout options and your shutdown options or your reboot options, etc. Now, I'm showing you these menus so you can see how striking the difference is when you compare them to KDE's new home screen launcher. Now, so I'm going to click in this little pretty cool looking icon, and you'll see Homerun. And as you can see, Homerun looks nothing like the other two menus. The most striking difference is the size. This is a full screen launcher. It's a full screen experience. The other relevant difference is the size of the icons. As you can see, icons are pretty big. Now, why are icons pretty big? This is an important question to ask, and the reason is this launcher is not only designed to be useful with the keyboard and a mouse, it's also designed to be useful with touch input. Now, this detail about being useful with touch input, it's really important, because in the future, in the recent future, I'm talking about a distant future, because of Windows 8, many manufacturers will start putting touchscreens in their computers, in their laptops, in their desktop. It doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, just because Windows 8 will support it, and in my personal opinion, it doesn't really support it all that well. Manufacturers will start putting touchscreens in their computers. So it's important that KDE has an option for those future users and for some of the current users that may have a touchscreen in their computer. Now, it's not only the big icons that hint at its capabilities as a touch input launcher, but also some small details all around the interface. For example, when I scroll, even with my scroll wheel in the mouse, you'll see a small bounce back effect. This is usually only found in touchscreen devices like tablets and smartphones. In fact, if I click and drag up or down, I can scroll anywhere in the launcher. This is obviously a behavior usually reserved to touch screens, because you touch the screen and then your only way to scroll is to move your finger up or down. This doesn't mean that the menu is not easy to use with the mouse and keyboard. In fact, you may have noticed that the main menu, or the regular menu, does not have the Netrunner's icon, and the reason is that Homerun has replaced the classic style menu as my main menu. So in fact, just to show you I'm serious, I'm going to remove my application launcher widget. Now, Homerun is divided in 4 different tabs. The first tab is called Home, and it's the main tab, and it shows your favorite applications. followed by your favorite places and recent documents, and among other recent kind of things like windowed widgets, which are plasma widgets inside a window. I really like them, by the way, especially the calculator. That's the reason it's there. Now, how do you add applications to your favorites? Usually, in the regular menu, you right click it and then you select favorites, but Homerun has a different way to do it. When you put your mouse on top of any icon, you can see a little icon appears. And this icon is what allows me to remove any of these applications currently on my favorites out. So I can remove, for example, contact from my favorite just like that. Same with places. I can always touch this and eliminate something from my favorite places. Now, if you want to add a new application to your favorites, you just need to go to the Applications tab and click it. And as you can see, there's a branch of categories, and if we click in any of them, it will open inside. And as you can see, there's a beautiful animation, and I really like it, so I'm going to go back and show you it again. And as you can see, it's a beautiful animation. It's really fluid. In fact, it's a lot more beautiful in person than it will probably look in the video. Now, if I want to add a new application to my favorites, I just click in the star icon that appears when I hover. Now, I really like these details all over around Homerun. So when I click the star, you will see an animation, and it's a beautiful animation too. So for example, I would also like to have telepathy in among my favorites, so I click it. Let's go into the third tab called Documents, and as you can see, there you can find your favorite place and your recent documents. And let me tell you something about Windows 8. This is just an introduction video of a new phone, and I really like the song, so it's my new ringtone, so I downloaded it and made a ringtone out of it, but that's not relevant. What I wanted to mention about Windows 8 is the fact that the experience is broken, and the experience is broken because if I go, for example, and try to click on an image or a video file or anything in Netrunner, for example, if I click this, it will open GUM view as one would expect. But in Windows 8, instead of opening the right application or what seems like the right application, it will jump to Metro, or if I'm in Metro, it will jump back into the desktop. So these are two completely unrelated experiences. Sorry, that was my smartphone. Two completely unrelated experiences that constantly jump from one to another without any necessity. This doesn't happen in Netrunner or in KDE in general or with Homerun. Why? Because Homerun, even though it's a full screen experience designed for touch, and even though it looks completely different from the other menus, it still feels like it's part of the same experience. The icons are the same, the applications that are open are the same, and if you're using the mouse or the keyboard, you still feel at home. So this is an enormous difference in design quality, and I believe it's an advantage when you have a cohesive experience. Now, as I said, all applications open as you expect, except folders. Folders have a very cool feature, and they open inside Homerun. So if I click in any other kind of application, any kind of file, it will open the corresponding external application. But if I click in a folder like the home folder, it will open inside the launcher. Now, this is a pretty useful feature. Thing about it, the reason it's so useful is that the menu, it's always available. It doesn't matter in which application you are, what you're looking, you can always click the menu and have a file manager at your disposal. And as you can see, the star appears when I hover over any icon. So if I want to add a favorite, I just click the star. Now, another cool thing is that if I open any folder, you may notice that I have breadcrumb navigation. So it's really easy to navigate all around these folders. Now let's go to the last tab, and as you would expect, you have shutdown, the option to shut down, restart, suspend, hibernate, lock out, switch users, or lock screen. So as we've seen, the experience is a little bit different, well, actually very different from the experience of any other menu or launcher in KDE. And you have the little bounce back, and you have big targets. It's clearly designed to work with touch. Oh, before I forget, you can also search for stuff, for applications. So for example, I'm going to search for the calculator, and that's the calculator widget I was talking about before. I'm going to click it, and as you can see, it's a pretty cute widget, and you can resize it as you wish. It works pretty well. And you may remember I mentioned at the beginning that Homerun was not just a new menu, it was a new layout. So until now, I've been using it as a menu. So for example, I can open the browser and bring the menu. That's not the only way of using Homerun. In KDE, there's something called layouts. Most of these layouts are desktop-like experiences, but we can change that. We right-click and select Desktop Settings, and we have an option to change our layout. So we just click it and select Homerun. Then we hit OK, and Homerun will become our desktop. Now, I believe this is a pretty amazing feature, and the reason it's an amazing feature is because people seem to be putting less and less icons and widgets in their desktop. So instead of having a couple of static widgets or a couple of icons, you can have your favorite application, your favorite places, all your applications, your documents, and you can even open any folder and browse your files. So you don't even lose the ability to see some files in your desktop. You just extend that ability. And as it's designed for touch, if you have a touch enabled device, it makes a lot more sense. It's very similar to a home screen. So this is Homerun for KDE, and I hope you liked it.